Okay. Oh, you know what I noticed is that a bunch of the OAs have a blue background, like a blue room.
My room is pink. I don't know why I did that as a child, but
To me,
I
it was
like
like a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Candace, you go first when he says introduce yourself.
Okay.
So it's not like we both say hi at the same time.
Okay.
You've been watching the other lives, haven't you, Caitlin?
You know what? I've been trying to. I like bounce, like I'll look at the beginning and I'll look at the end. And then I'll just like pop in every now and then.
I watched all of the first one because I was like, this is fun.
Welcome, everyone. We'll be getting started in a few minutes. Going to let a few more people circulate in. Probably say around 2 minutes or so we'll be starting.
Aw, Kaylin, your little thing is blue too. It's kind of funny because you're just talking about blue on the Google Doc. Your little cursor is blue because you were talking about blue.
Yours is blue on mine.
Oh.
It's like a nice I don't know how to say that color, but it's like a green blue.
Turquoise?
Yeah, that. My accent comes out and then I can't say it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't usually have an accent, but.
Aw.
All right. So we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the College of Science live stream. My name is Carice Brown, and I am a junior management major from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I am serving as the team leader for this year's orientation ambassador team. Today, I am joined by two ambassadors representing the College of Science, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
All right, hey everybody. My name is Candace Collins. I'm a senior biological sciences major, and I'm from Irmo, South Carolina.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kaylin Rico. I am a sophomore biological sciences major from Taylor, South Carolina.
In this live stream, I'll be asking some questions to the ambassadors. This live stream is meant to be for college-specific questions, but we will answer a limited amount of general questions at the end that are related to like Clemson as a whole. If you do want those general questions answered after the live stream, there will be an Instagram live Q&A on Monday, June 8th at 3 p.m. Eastern. And if you do have questions related to the College of Science, then feel free to drop them in the question box or in the chat. For orientation purposes, I'm gonna go over some of the different platforms that we'll be utilizing this summer to engage with the incoming students coming into Clemson. And first will be Instagram. and that name will be at Clemson_orientation. Also be using TikTok, and that name is Clemson Orientation. Also podcasts, which will be available on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and that name will be Clemson Orientation. And they'll cover various topics of incoming students with their transition to Clemson. Also be using personal outreach, which students should be receiving an email from the orientation ambassador sometime this week if you haven't already. And just for that one, for personal outreach, there will be a trivia night this Friday at 5 p.m. And that link should have already been sent out to you from your orientation ambassador. And finally, it'll be YouTube, which we're streaming on right now if you're not watching on Zoom. And that name is Clemson Orientation. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you tune into that first video called Tiger Greeting 2020, which we give out some pieces of encouragement directed from current students and alumni. And I'm going to start off with some questions. Kaylin, how was your transition to Clemson?
My transition to Clemson started off a little rocky just because I'm like so family oriented that it was kind of hard to leave home. I know that a lot of students sometimes say like, oh, I can't wait to go to college and get out of my house and such. But in reality, sometimes I miss the small stuff like just hanging out with my family at home. And that, I mean, it started off kind of rocky, but once time went on in second semester especially, I felt so much more comfortable being at Clemson. So it was a good transition. It took some time, but that's okay.
Okay, same for you, Candace.
Yeah, so I'd say that I guess being away from my family went surprisingly well with the transition. I guess like campus life wise, I guess I had to like figure out what I wanted to do and how I was going to transition into academics. So it took some time to figure it out, but that's how it is when you come into college.
All right. So Candace, you're a senior now, so you have tons of memory to go off on. So what has been your favorite academic memory and your favorite non-academic memory?
Okay, yes, I've been here for a while. So my favorite academic memory would probably have to be something that happened this past semester, spring. I got an A in cell biology. I was very surprised by that because that was probably my least favorite class of the semester, just because it wasn't like something I was really interested in, just because it deals with tiny things that you can't even like see, but I got through it. So that was probably a very good triumph for me. And I'd say non-academic, that one's like really hard, I guess, because I've had like you said, a collective experience over these past 3 years. So I'd probably say joining Tiger Live Entertainment, and that's an organization where we plan events and concerts on campus. I've really met like really good people through that organization and learned a lot about my leadership skills. So, yeah.
And same for you, Kaylin.
So my favorite academic memory would be probably a chemistry lab we did. I really enjoyed chemistry lab, actually. It's kind of shocking when I tell people that because it is kind of a difficult lab at times, but I really liked it. It was a lot of fun just because like, even though we weren't handheld the entire time. So you were able to experiment and you had to get a result, but the way you got there was really cool. So I really liked chemistry lab. My favorite, I also really like bio lab, like dissecting stuff second semester. That was really fun. But for my non-academic, I would say going into Death Valley after the first football game. That was really fun. It was like such a like fun atmosphere to be in. So yeah.
All right. So Kaylin, thinking back, so when you look at that overview of your freshman year, what's a piece of advice that you would tell yourself when you look back at it?
Let's see. So one piece of advice that I would tell myself is to really focus on my time management skills. they were like okay going into Clemson or into college, but like I realized really like quickly that if you don't make time for when you're going to study and when you're going to like go over the notes and everything, it can pile up. So it does affect you tremendously, but I would really tell myself to focus on those time management skills.
Okay. And same for you, Candace.
I'd probably tell myself that there's not one overall experience, I guess you'd say. I remember like being really worried about going into biology and not like having a internship or like shadowing and stuff like that during my first summer. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it wrong. But there's no like one way to do anything in your major. You can just like end up anywhere. So I just tell myself that so I wouldn't overwhelm myself.
So Candace, so as a biological science major, so why did you choose that major?
Yeah, so at first I actually like applied to Clemson as a nursing major, but I realized that to do either PA or med school my freshman year. So I decided that I probably needed biological sciences because most of the classes that I would take in that major would be requirements for PA or med school.
Okay. And same for you, Caitlin.
My response is pretty much kind of the same way. I came in as a biological science major and I still am a bi-sci major. I chose that major just because so many of the coursework lines up with what they ask for at med school or optometry school, which are like my two options for after college. So that was probably like, that's actually the main reason why I chose biological sciences.
Okay. So I mean, you just going to be started getting actually like involved with the majors this year. But in terms of when you look at your freshman year, what has been your overall experience with the college?
My overall experience with the college is that like overall people want you to succeed. To be a STEM major is at this time is like really cool and exciting just because like I mean in times like these like the COVID-19 like to be able to understand that like not all the way but like some of my teachers would take like 5 minutes of their time during lecture and explain it to us. So I felt like that was really cool. And my experience with the college with the professors has been really good. They want you to succeed, but you have to go to those office hours. You have to want, like, you have to put your foot forward and want to take a couple steps on your own too. So it's been really well.
Yeah. So I mean, you mentioned office hours, mentioned your professors. So how how do you usually approach your professors in terms of, you know, most people aren't used to, you know, reaching out for help. So how did you do it?
Um, I won't lie, I was a little scared because some of my professors were intimidating, but I honestly like if they see that you're willing to learn and that you want to learn, it really becomes so much easier. To go to office hours, you just have to make time in your schedule to be like, okay, I have to go. And then also make sure you have questions ahead of time because if you just walk in and you have no questions, there's no way they can help you. So just I mean, even though if your professors seem intimidating, you have to still go and it'll get so much easier. I can tell you, it got so much easier for me the more times I went. They met me, they know my name, in a lecture of like 200 people. Like that's so beneficial when you go to those office hours. So just even if it's intimidating, still go. It'll get a lot easier.
Okay. And Candace, so with all that experience, you have the experience with the college, with the major. How has your overall experience been with your specific major with your department?
Yeah, so I would say I really like how, like, as you go along through your years in biological sciences, you get to like really connect with the people that you have classes with. So I have one of my best friends, she's literally been in classes with me since freshman year. So I really love that. You get to build your own community in there in your own department and really you could really to like connect with people and you really get like experience with studying when you group up with other people. And also it's really nice to like also go through professors throughout those 3 years, well that I have been, and really just like see how they like go with you through the experience. Yeah.
Okay. So what is it, Candace, what is it like to be in there? Well, you've already mentioned most of it. I would just say this. What is something that incoming students coming to Clemson, what is something that they should look for in, in the College of Science, or even if they're in the department with biological sciences?
I would say look for like when your advisors or like people in your college email you, like our advisor for the College of Science, Adam Hunter, he like sends out emails all the time. And at first I was really like, I don't know who this person is, but he's actually giving out really good information about like seminars and workshops about how to do resumes, and maybe for like whatever pre-professional thing you want to go through. Just like make sure you look out for emails, and also just like get in contact with advisors. Mm-hmm.
You have anything to add on some things to look for, Kayla?
I would just say reach out for the vast amount of resources that the College of Science has. As a STEM major, so many of the courses offer PAL and also tutoring by the Academic Success Center. Professors that are in STEM really want you to succeed. So again, those office hours are really good. It paid off for me a lot. My grades definitely were a lot better just because I went to those tutoring sessions. And like I didn't go every single one, but I knew when I did go, it was because the material was difficult and I had questions. So those really helped, all those resources.
So you just mentioned Academic Success Center. Can you explain what that is for students who don't know what that is?
So the Academic Success Center, they have so many things. It's located like near the library, a little bit off to the side. They have tutoring sessions, and honestly, they're there for like whatever student needs. If you need learning accommodations, or if you need a tutor, or I honestly, if you need a study space, I think they have study spaces there as well. They are there for whatever you need. They help their students and whatever, or like if they need something, they got it. I don't know, maybe Candace can help me explain that a little more.
Yeah, they like have anything that involves academics. So they even have like coaches that teach you how to study, like study skills. So it's really valuable information. And yes, I have multiple friends who are tutors there, and they're really good. So I'd say definitely use those resources that you have.
Yeah. And Caitlin mentioned the mentioned learning accommodations within the student accessibility services, which is on the second floor of the ASC. So, Caitlin, like you said, with the Academic Success Center, so when it comes down to the finals week, or just have those assignments that that seems to pile up, how do you de-stress?
I de-stress. It's kind of, it costs no money. It's just to go out on a walk around campus. Honestly, to get a little piece of nature into your day does so much good. The campus is really, really pretty, especially like when the sun's about to set. It's really nice. And like the weather usually isn't that bad. Even if it's raining, it's still like you can still go on a walk sometimes. Just put on your rain boots and go. I like to just walk around campus just to de-stress, read a book, watch some TV, do something of that. But nature definitely comes first, just to take out a walk.
And same for you, Candace.
Yeah, so retweet Kaylin. And also, I really like listening to music. That's one of my favorite things. I always have headphones in my ears. And I definitely say if you feel overwhelmed, take things like one at a time. If you look like at a full picture, like the big idea, sometimes you can get really overwhelmed. And I'd also say celebrate the small things. So if you do like 10 minutes of studying, go get you a snack, something fun, celebrate your accomplishment.
If I can bounce off that, I know that when I would look at everything I had to do, like overall in a month, maybe even, because sometimes teachers like have that large like syllabus where they actually go day by day and they show you your month worth of work.
Mm-hmm.
That would overwhelm me. So I would definitely get stressed. So honestly, like Candace said, take it day by day. Don't take it as like, oh God, this is everything I have to do in a month. Take it like oh, this is what I have to do this week, or this is what I have to do tomorrow, today. I mean, I would make little sticky notes and make sure, okay, this is what I have to do today. So that helped me de-stress too.
So going off from that question, what are some must-haves that you would say for, what would you recommend that's like a must-have for your freshman year?
You can go first, Candace.
Oh, okay. I would say definitely have an umbrella or a rain jacket. Just because rain is always unexpected at Clemson. So just have that on hand. Yes.
I would say you should probably the thing that saved me was having a calendar. I needed to know what I had to do each week and when stuff were going to be due, because those lab reports, they'll just sneak up on you, and then you can't go ask for help. So if it's like the day before, sometimes that's really difficult to write a lab report. But I mean, I'd have a calendar. Planners didn't work for me, but that's also personal preference. So I had a calendar. That would be my must-have.
Also, bouncing off of that, I definitely recommend Google Calendar, just because a lot of the stuff you use with your laptop and just everything, Google Calendar is really good. You can even connect assignments and things from Canvas and add it to your Google Calendar, just so you can keep it all in there.
You reminded me of something. Make sure you have your charger for your computer, because it'll surprise you. If you lose battery and you're in the middle of a lecture, that's not good. So make sure you have that backup battery or that charger with you.
Yeah, I definitely I forgot what semester it was, but I realized not really the amount, but I didn't really do as well as I wanted to the semester before that. It was I have all these online classes, so let me just it was like a couple of days before class is about to start, and I realized I have 5 online classes. And then I literally just went down to the bookstore and bought a calendar, and then just went back and just wrote everything on there for the entire semester, all the assignments, the due dates. And then, like Caitlin said, your chargers. I have my chargers with me 24/7, whether it's my laptop, whether it's my phone charger, any kind of charger I need. I just carry it at all points, just because when I'm out of my room, I'm out of my room for the entire day. I don't need anything. I don't need anything going dead.
Funny story. Once I was in a lab and someone was like, "I will give you $20 if you give me your charger because it's about to die." So chargers they're a need.
Okay. So we have one question right here. It says, for classes like Intro to Bio, and Chem, where you have to take the lab, so do you need to have the same professors for the lab and the lecture?
Candace, do you want to go or do you want me to?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, I can say one component and then you can say another. Okay, so I'm gonna say first. So for lecture, okay, so like who Stephanie said, so bio and chem have lectures where you have one professor, but labs have this thing called a TA, which is a teaching assistant. So it's not the same person who's giving you lab. So that they are the person that give you lab is your TA, and Candace can go in depth as to what they help you with as a TA.
Yeah, so really the TA is the person running the lab. And sometimes when you register, you might see a different name that might just be the coordinator for that lab, but you'll have a TA for that specific section of your lab who will be running the lab, grading lab reports, everything like that.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if it works for everyone, but I know certain labs correspond to a certain lecture class for the section. All right. So yeah, I'll just go on. So is there a living learning community within the College of Science? And if there are, were either of you a part of it?
I was not part of an LLC. which is the abbreviation for living learning community. Sorry. I was not a part of one.
Yeah, so I did RISE my freshman year, and that's Residence in Science and Engineering. So that was really fun, especially because they gave you opportunities to like learn more about people in your major and in your college. And also, they even have like some classes might even be restricted for just for like RISE residents. So that's really cool just to like have your own community.
Okay. So Candace, what was it like being in that rock community?
Yes, I really liked it because my roommate and I, we were really involved. We were in this like, it was like a volunteer service group thing, and we would help with a lot of like local organizations around Clemson. And I know we helped with like, it was like recycling, and we did recycling. We did like Valentines for like the residents in the hall. It's also just like a really good place. You have like study places just for like in your dorm. So it's really a good experience.
So now we're going to talk about those advisors. So what, Kaylin, what are like how like what are the advisors like and what are those like advising sessions like?
The advisors that I've met and seen are really, really good. They are well informed. My advisor, speaking from personal experience, she was really, really good. She already like helped me set up a 4-year plan. And then when I was thinking about double majoring with a foreign language, she helped me. Like I was like, I don't know if I want to. I honestly like, will you help me plan it out? Because to do a language with a science is kind of difficult. So she helped me. And then when I was like, actually, I don't want to do that. I think I'll just stick to the minor. She was so helpful. She didn't get mad or anything. She was just like, okay, that's fine. Like it's fine. We'll go back to the 4-year plan that we had before that was just your major biological sciences. So I mean, they're there for you. They really will help you plan out your classes. And if you have any issues with your classes or need help, they're there for you as well. So the advisors that I've had and met with, they're very good.
Same for you,
Yeah.
Candace.
Oh yeah, so they're really good. I've had the same one for the past 2 years. And she's been really helpful, especially in this past year, because I'm going to be graduating early, and she was helping me trying to like, I guess, kind of find a way to fit my classes together just so I can do that. And she's really helpful with making sure you've gotten everything you need. So yeah.
And so moving on to I say like career services, what are those like what opportunities do they offer in terms of internship or co-ops?
I'm not really sure like how many internships or co-ops the College of Science has. Um I know that I am involved with the pre-health like module in Canvas. So like they'll send out stuff saying, here's an internship that you could do, here's this like opportunity, here are these like tutoring skills, here's this live webinar. So that was really helpful for me to get into that module.
Yes, so definitely if you're looking for like pre-health professions, I definitely maybe ask your advisor during your meeting to see if you can get added to that campus module, I guess you could say, CU health professions. And also say talking to maybe like coordinators in your college who maybe like specify like are work in like pre-health professions for you or any other under like pre after undergrad thing. And we also have a career fair. It happens every semester and it happens over several days and they break it up based on college and your major. So whatever you're looking for, it will be there.
We actually have another question It says, how was balancing chemistry, biology, and calculus all in one semester? So do you have any tips on balancing these courses all at once?
Candace, would you like to go first or?
Okay. So, well, I guess I was in like a different boat because I went into, what is it called? Organic, and I exempted math, so I didn't have to take that. But doing bio and then organic, I was really scared at first, but I definitely say, like, especially what Kaylin was saying about meeting with your professors about stuff and expressing your concerns, it really will help you out in the long run. So just make sure you know, I guess you could say, what you need help in knowing like your strengths and weaknesses when it comes to academics. So you can definitely ask for help.
Bouncing off of that, I mean, it was difficult for me, especially because I'm not a calculus, or actually, I'm not a math girl. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm not good at math. So I was like fine in bio and chem, and then calculus. That's where it got me. So just know your weak spots, honestly. Like I knew I was gonna have to put more time into calculus than I was gonna have to put into bio and chem. But also like don't leave those other two classes behind. So know when you have to focus on another course. And also like Candace was saying about something I said, professors will be willing to help you early on. If you wait till like a week before finals and be like, hey, I need help, they're not gonna like, I mean, you have to be able to like go when you're supposed to. I mean, a week before finals, I mean, that's pushing it sometimes. So just ask for help when you need it.
Yes, I'd say definitely go as early as possible if you realize you need help, because they'll be like very impressed that you recognize that you have concerns about something. So for sure, always ask for help.
That was a good question. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the next one we have, it says, did you guys have a specific laptop with specific gigabytes and gigabytes SSD for your science majors?
I think for the College of Science, they don't have like you can choose like any laptop you want. If you want to have an iPad, like one of those ones with the pen, you can do that. I would double check though on the CCIT website, because or just look up like laptops 2020 Clemson. And then they'll show you like recommended stuff. But I think I may be right. I may have to be double checked. I think College of Science doesn't have any specific laptop requirements, and gigabytes, I think it's a personal choice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then next question we have, it says, to go to professor's office hours, do you need to sign up or do you just show up? What about if you want to meet one-on-one?
So professors on the first day of class, they'll give you a syllabus and kind of specify how they want to meet you. It really depends on their preference, I guess you could say. I had professors who want me to sign up in campus, and they'll show you how to do that. They'll also ask if they might not have specific office hours and just want you to email them. And then they'll also give you just like dates and times, and you can just go and drop in. Usually they're drop in.
Keep the questions coming. They're great.
They are good. Thank you. Keep them coming.
Yes.
All right. So, Candace, have you studied abroad or?
I have not.
Okay. So that was coming to my next question. Have you was study abroad something that you were thinking about doing?
It was. I was thinking my freshman year, I was thinking about going to Cyprus and doing taking some bio classes there and doing like a sort of like internship type thing. If you want to know about it, it's University of Nicosia. That's what it's called. But yeah, that's one. That's only the one I've thought about doing. But there are so many. There's also, you can look it up on the website. And I think each semester they also have a study abroad fair, and there are third party people, people from Clemson, who can talk about specific things that you want to do within your college and department.
How about you, Caitlin? Was study abroad something that ever crossed your mind?
Yes, it did. As I said before, I was thinking about double majoring with Spanish as my other major. And when I did that, I had to think ahead and see where I could go as to like where I can get like, because I didn't want to like totally be off science for an entire year, because that's what it looked like for some areas. Because Spanish is like, well, Spanish and science, they're like two different realms. So I didn't want to be like totally blocked off from science for a year. And so I was looking at Costa Rica as a choice because it offered Spanish courses and it also offered a bunch of bio courses like ecology lab. So I was thinking, when I did think about studying abroad, it was for that. And I was looking at Costa Rica. I think that was the most appealing one that I looked at when I wanted to, but then COVID came around and I didn't want to study abroad.
Yeah, study abroad is something that you do have to plan ahead for, because it just comes down to what classes they offer. You don't want to take those prerequisites when it's already offered somewhere else abroad. And it was something that I was thinking about as well. Like Candace said, the University of Nicosia. You know, I attended the study abroad fair, and I mean, it's a lot, because I mean they have between those campus partners as well as those third party. But if it is something you are thinking about, mention it to your advisor. But that is something that you want to plan ahead for, and not something you want to wait for. But from what I heard, it is a great opportunity. It is really a lot of fun to do that.
If I could add something else, it's very important, like Kari said, it's very important to plan ahead, because a lot of courses are like Chem 1010, the first Chem is one first semester, and then the second one second semester. So they're like, to study abroad that second semester, then when are you going to get that Chem 2? So it's really important to do that. That's why you have to plan ahead. For me, I almost went abroad my second semester this upcoming year, my sophomore year. But like I decided not to, so it's really important to plan ahead. So definitely raise any questions with your advisor, and I'm sure they'll be happy to meet with you and discuss those options.
So the next question is, did you guys gain internships? If so, what's the experience like? I'm pretty sure this question is only going to be directed towards Candace. So Candace, did you have an internship? And if so, what was the experience like?
So I haven't really done an internship. I've been doing a lot of, I guess, shadowing experience. That's kind of my thing. I've really been working like my sophomore year when I thought I wanted to be an optometrist. I shadowed my mom's optometrist. And then over Christmas breaks, like winter break and fall break, I'll go to my mom's friend has her daughter's a PA, and so I shadow her whenever I can. And so, yes, that's what I've been doing. But also, definitely go to like the career fair if you're looking for internships, or if you're like in a pre-health profession. Definitely talk to your advisor about joining that campus group, because the person who runs it, Carolyn Williams, she is always shooting stuff out about different internships all across the United States. So it's really good.
Carolyn Williams, she's awesome. She does a lot of advising for pre-health or pre-medicine, pre-optometry, honestly anything with pre. She'll know something about it. So she's a good contact.
So the one thing people usually, mention is, how do I get involved? So are there any clubs or organizations like geared towards like with the College of Science?
I was in a group called Cosmic, which is a peer tutoring organization for first years. it was really helpful. You get paired up with an older student and they mentor you. They help you set goals and help you like get resources and stuff. So that was one organization that I was in. It's run by Sharetta Buford in the College of Science, so she's really good.
Yes, so there are so many. I definitely recommend going at the beginning of the school year, going to Tiger Prowl, and they will have like an entire section. It's in Death Valley. They'll have like an entire section of the stadium just like dedicated to academic clubs and organizations. I know I talk about a lot of like med stuff, but if you're asking about that, there's so many. There's AED, pause for PA if you want to be a PA, MAPS for minority students in healthcare. There's so many things, and there's a lot of stuff for any major in the College of Science, not just health things. So I definitely recommend that. And also using Tiger Quest. I love Tiger Quest. They have every organization here at Clemson, and if you just search it and go to the organizations tab, you can also like categorize it by academics. So if you want to just look at that during your free time, that's a really good idea.
All right. Now, if y'all have
Can
any
I add
questions,
that to the chat? I'm sorry.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Well, if y'all have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat or just keep the questions coming in the Q&A. So, Caitlin, what was the hardest lesson you learned during your freshman year?
My hardest lesson would have to be like, again, my time management. It was kind of difficult to like figure out when I could do this, when I could do that, when I could hang with friends, when I had to study and stuff like that. So I learned a lot about what I could handle and when I had to say no to stuff. So that was probably one of the biggest challenges.
Okay. Same for you, Candace. What was the biggest lesson you learned?
I definitely say that making mistakes is okay. Like, I feel like you can't learn without making a mistake. So I definitely say it's okay to make mistakes and try not to compare yourself to other people. I think that was like a big thing for me, like my freshman year, when I saw people like doing well or doing things that I wasn't, just because I didn't have like the time or like I felt like I wasn't trying hard enough. I feel like just don't compare yourself and like to other people and just stay on your own path, because that is always the right path.
Bouncing off of Candace, I definitely agree with that. It's okay to make mistakes. I mean, I made mistakes my freshman year, but it's okay as long as you learn from them. And I mean, know how much you can handle and don't compare yourself to anybody else. I mean, it's a hard, STEM is hard. So just don't compare yourself, focus on you, learn, find your support group, and then you'll be okay.
So what, so usually a question that people usually have is, what's the average class size? Like whether it's for the major or whether it's just for the College of Science?
So almost with like all your gen eds, the classes are going to be bigger just because everyone has to take that class. For specifically College of Science, and personally for my major, I had to take a class called Frontiers of Biology. I think it's Bio 1010. I think it's yeah. And that place was packed. It was multiple students, but I guess Candace can probably back me up on this. The more you go up, the more specific you get. I think the smaller the classes get. I was able to opt out of some early Spanish courses, so the one I'm in is kind of like a junior level, and it only has 20 students in there, or it was roughly around that. So I mean, the class sizes will get smaller as you get more specific, but general courses or general education courses, they'll be a little bit bigger.
Yeah. I think sometimes it also depends on your major. I know like biological sciences is a bigger major, so there are going to be more students in classes. And I've had at least one class per semester that has more than 200 people, just because that class could be like a requirement for you to get through and get your degree. So just be aware that you'll probably have at least one class with 200 plus people.
And bouncing off of that, I was a person that if I sat at the very back and I saw all these people, I would get really distracted. So if you are like me and get distracted easily, just get there a little earlier and sit in the front. I mean, that's the best you can do sometimes.
So, Candace, where's your favorite spot to study on campus?
Okay. All right. I like studying on the 5th floor. That's where the Starbucks is. And like it like off to left and right, but there's this like big chunk of office and stuff in the middle. And there are like little cubicle things with like your own light switch and an outlet in it. That's my favorite place because it's like your own little room.
How about you, Kayla?
I'm kind of hesitant because I like my space, like the place I'm in, but mine is actually the 2nd floor, the one that has CCIT there. If you go in and like you go straight towards this hallway, and then there's like the elevators, and then it looks like there's this like walkway behind the elevators. There's this whole area. It has like comfy chairs and everything. You have your own table, and it's like a silent zone. So I work best, like I study best when it's like completely quiet. So that was a really good place for me to study. I loved it there. I found it right before Corona happened. I was kind of upset, but it was a really, really good place to study, and it was really quiet.
I hear like a lot of people, they study at the amphitheater, 1st floor of the library. I believe it's the 5th floor as well as the 6th floor of the library as well.
Mm-hmm.
If I can comment, the 1st floor is like the quietest zone. And if you go online, you can like schedule a room and reserve a room. I did not know this, so I thought you could just go down there and like sit in a room. But people would come in and be like, I have it reserved. I'm like, what's this reservation thing you're talking about?
No, oh my gosh.
And
take
so
advantage, like
I know. Yeah, reserve your room if you're that person. And like honestly, if you want to play like music lightly in your room, you can do that. I mean, it's totally like they have whiteboards. You can also rent what you call it, expo markers from the library and use them in those rooms. So reserve your room. It's on the Clemson library page.
Yeah,
it says like save a room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do that. If that is something you're interested in, I would definitely recommend. I would do that like the week before an exam. So those
you can like reserve it up to like 2 weeks ahead of time. So for sure do that. You can either do it for like just yourself or like a group of friends you want to study with for exams. So
I mean, that's where I would go when lab groups needed to do lab reports. I mean, that 5 of us could fit in there. It was fine. I loved it.
We have another question that says, what was your first semester? Yeah, what was your schedule? Yeah, I don't know. What was your schedule your first semester at Clemson? I am also a biological science major.
I think me and Candace differ because she did come in with credits in chemistry, but Candace, why don't you go first and then I'll explain how. Because I think mine is a little bit more typical, but.
Yeah. So I took Bio 1010 and then I took the principles of biology. That was my first semester. Yeah. I did organic. My lab, of course, for bio. I know it was not English because we took that spring semester.
You also can't take
communications.
Yes.
1500
1,500 or 25?
I did 1500 with the lab. So yeah, I feel like there's something I'm missing, but I just can't remember it. It was so
Did
long
you have
ago.
math in there?
No, I didn't take
Same
math.
Okay.
Okay, Kaylin.
I think mine may be a little bit maybe what you're looking for because mine was pretty typical. I took APs in high school, but I didn't use any just because some college I don't know where I want to apply to after college, so I just wanted to restart. I took that frontiers class because it is a requirement for the biological science major. I took my first semester biology, first semester chemistry with both, and then those two had labs. I took COM 1500 with its lab. I took calculus. God, honestly, y'all don't get an idea about calculus. I'm just not a calculus girl. I think that was it. I think that was my basic schedule. It was definitely, I felt like my first semester was a lot more work than my second semester, but that was my first semester of college, those classes.
And we have another question. It says, for people who have AP science credits, do you recommend using them and entering a higher science initially?
I kind of just went in depth, or I just kind of talked about that, but honestly, it's personal preference. I mean, it depends on how strong you feel your foundation is. I mean, I felt like I had a decent foundation, but I'm so happy I took it again because I mean, sometimes it can honestly, if your foundation is good and you want to have like a course that will be easier, I guess, for you, then I would take it again. But if you want to use them, I mean, my roommate, who was a biochem major, she had credits for her AP bio class, but she took first semester and then used the second semester for credit, if that makes sense. So she took first semester, like she had credit for both from AP, but she took first semester bio at Clemson and then used her AP credit to opt out of second semester biology.
Mm-hmm.
If that
I
makes
see what you're
sense.
saying. Yeah, I had another friend who did that.
So I mean, you can do that. Honestly, I feel like that's a good idea. If like she wanted to see if she really like understood biology, so that's why she took first semester biology. I'm not sure if you can do it the other way around, but that is an option. But I mean, you can use them if you want. It's I mean, I would talk to my academic advisor about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really think it's just a preference because I know I only had one AP science credit. It was just for AP Chem, and I decided to use that only because I don't like chemistry that much. So I just wanted to get to the next thing. And then, but like for other AP credits, like I know I took AP Psych and I could have exempted that. No, it was something that you might need for like the MCAT or even like going into PA school. And I know like I took that my junior year because I took AP Chem senior year, so I still knew that stuff when I was coming into college. So I just took that to refresh myself.
Good question, though. That was a good question. I know a lot of
Yes.
people debate sometimes where they should take those credits or not, but in the end, you should just talk to your academic advisor about it and be real with yourself about how much, how strong your foundation is.
Any more questions? And if I don't have any more questions, I'll just remember that there will be an Instagram live Q&A on Monday, June 8th at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And so you can reach out to your orientation ambassador as well. You know, they're great resources to have. I still speak to some of my students from last year as well. says, personally, another question came. It says, personally, I'm not very strong in chemistry because my foundation is weak, but I'm majoring in biochem because I want to be in that field. Do you guys have any advice on that?
I'm not. Chemistry took me some work too. I'm not so. I understand you. It's definitely some work. I would say express your concern to your professor or your academic advisor. Be like, I don't have the best or I'm not the best at chemistry, and I may need some additional help. You can go to the Academic Success Center and get yourself a tutor, or get tutor information. I mean, you don't have to like reserve them spot on, but you can already like that way. When you're in need, you already have the information. There are also PAL sessions. PAL stands for peer assisted learning, right?
I think so.
Yes. And I went to those sessions, and other classmates will too. Will like go to those sessions because I mean, there's one PAL leader in there in your class that literally goes to your class and sits in there with you. So they'll know how your professor teaches and how they want you to like study for a quiz or help you like on the exams because they've already been through the class. And I think the requirement to be one of those leaders is like an A or a B in the class, so they'll have a strong foundation in it. So I would reach out to those leaders and go to those sessions, which you will be told at the very beginning of the semester, like, hey, this is your PAL leader and stuff like that. And also, I know for chemistry, there's this thing called Chemistry Fight Club, and it's like the day before the exam or a couple days before the exam, they literally go through and talk about everything that's going to be on that exam. So that's a really good resource. I personally didn't use it, but I know a couple people did and they enjoyed it. My professor that I had gave me so many practice problems, so I would just work through those. But express your concern to your professor. Be like, I have some trouble with chemistry. Is there any way, like, where would you recommend I find extra practice problems and stuff? And there are also some in the textbook, and I know some, I don't know if all the chemistry professors require this, but there's this thing called SmartWorks, and it's like your homework program that you'll have to buy. And you can just rework those problems. I memorize by writing it down. So I would work out my homework problem and then write to the side why that was the answer. So, I mean, just make sure you use your study tools would be my advice. Candace may say something different, or maybe she agrees.
I agree with everything you said. That was a beautiful answer. Yes. So use PAL sessions. Make sure you just know your concerns. And if you just reach out and recognize that you need help, you can actually build that foundation. So, yes, like Caitlin said.
Just because you're a biochemistry major doesn't mean you're going to be like, you have to be the best of the best, you know? Like, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay not to understand some subjects. I mean, let me tell y'all, thermochem got me. Like, that is a hard unit. But it's okay. Like, in biology, I mean, like, I still sometimes have trouble with mitosis. So I have to review it sometimes. So, I mean, it's a really easy thing, but I mean, obviously you have to know more in-depth stuff when you get to college. So it took me a couple read-throughs to understand it all the way. So it's okay if you're not the best at everything in that major. Also, mitosis was the only thing that came to my head. I'm sure there was other things, but that's the only thing.
What I like about like chemistry and biology and stuff is that like the stuff that you learn in the beginning, you'll just use it forever. Like in cell bio, you learned about mitosis, and I'm like, what? But yeah,
I thought we were over that.
I know.
But
there's
yeah,
different things that are involved in it, but
you have to know the chemicals. And okay, we're getting like a little bit off topic, but
sorry.
So much, so many steps, so many chemicals and everything. Oh my gosh. Keep the questions coming. I love these. These are good.
Yes.
Bring them on YouTube. Bring them on Zoom.
Kaylin, you're
Either
really
or.
good at answering questions.
Thank you. I try sometimes. Sometimes I think I say too much. I'm like, oops.
I say too little. And I'm like, I'm really trying to help.
Oh, then we were perfect together today then.
Yes.
And this is up to the ambassador if they feel that they want to. I mean, y'all can also add y'all emails into the chat. And, you know, if people have any, you know, questions after the live stream about the college of science, they email you. Make sure that this says, when you say two, it says all panelists and attendees.
Hopefully some of these people are my small group, and if you're not, thank you for being here.
Yes.
Make sure I type that right. I'm not wearing my glasses right now.
And we have another question. It says, this is going to be for Candace. It says, so Candace did join Level Learning Community her first year. And it says, did it have an impact on your major?
I don't think, I know I switched to bio before I chose to be in RISE, but I know one of the reasons I did join RISE was because I was going to be a bio major, and I wanted to be with people who I guess I could relate to, especially academically. And my roommate, she was actually in some of the same classes as me because we were both bio majors. So, yes. Also, it's very helpful. I know for like some classes, I think for chemistry, they had like RISE sections of classes, so that could happen. And they also have classes in like the dorms. Like there's a Lever classroom and a Burns classroom, so you could really get to know people there.
If there aren't any more questions, I do want to thank everyone who did join us today and watching this live stream for the College of Science. I want to thank the ambassadors as well for joining me and answering these questions that I had, as well as for the viewers. Yeah. Is there anything y'all want to say?
Thank y'all so much. If y'all have any other questions, please email either one of us, and we'll be happy to help you with whatever we can.
Yes, please email us. We really love answering questions, as you probably saw. But yes, you guys are going to do great at Clemson. I'm really excited for you guys to be here. So,
Thank you to everyone who joined. And once again, you know, there'll be an Instagram live stream next Monday on June 8th, 3 p.m. Eastern. Really answering those it's more of a general Q&A. And, you know, if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow those other, you know, social platforms as well, within Instagram, TikTok, and like I said, YouTube, and, you know, check it out for, you know, Spotify. And you should be getting an email. You should have already gotten it, or should be getting an email from your orientation ambassador sometime this week. Thank you everyone for joining. We'll see you in the fall.
Thank you. Bye, Tigers.